Hey everyone. So when we're talking about an executive mindset, leadership mindset, there's a lot going on that we have to try to organize in our heads. And one of the systems that I've developed for this is this idea of code. When we code or program or put in a code for something, what we're doing is we're unlocking an ability. And so this system of code really what works towards giving you clarity on what it is that you're trying to achieve. And so I'll kind of draw it out here and you can then utilize this till your heart's content. Let me go to the correct tool here. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to start with is this idea of breaking this out into 4 segments. And the very first one is going to be the C. And this is going to be your cognition, your cognitive approach. Let me try to write that a little bit better. Fundamentally, what's going on with your thoughts? What are you thinking about? If you know what you're thinking, do you have control over what you're thinking, or do you not have control over what you're thinking? Start of your day, for the next hour, for the next morning, for the next afternoon, for the next week, are you in control of your cognitive function? Are the things that are in front of mind actually the things that you want to be thinking about? Or are they just random thoughts coming in here? We end up with all sorts of problems when it comes to like ruminating thoughts, ideas, and thoughts that don't matter to us. And to be effective, we really want to get our cognitive function to a higher level. So our ability to deal with the first aspect of this is fundamental. So then what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, what am I actually thinking? And take an inventory. So list them out. What are my thoughts? And capture them right into this first box. That's going to give you a lot of clarity around what's going on in your head. Now, even the thoughts you don't want, you want to capture because you kind of want to know why they're there. Once you know what you're thinking, you can go to the O in this code format, and the O is objectives. Fundamentally, we're asking, what are your goals? If you know what your objectives are you thinking about your objectives? And you're going to list them out. You're going to say, I want to try to do this and do this and do this. This is not a task list. It might have some task-oriented components to it, but really what you're doing is you're getting very, very clear on the goals that you want to achieve. Again, that morning, that afternoon, that day, that week, and get some high clarity around this, because this is going to keep all the stuff that, in the Eisenhower matrix, the urgent but not important, or the urgent and important, out of the way. You're going to be focusing on the important things, because what you think and what your goals are now going to start to find some synergy and some alignment. So list those off as well. Next part of this is difficulties. What are the difficulties that are going to keep you from achieving those objectives? You want to preempt this. So preempt is the thing that you want to do here. If you can think ahead on what those difficulties are, again, list them off. These are the things that are going to show up for me that I'm going to struggle with. If you know what those difficulties are, you can then make a plan, and planning is key. So I know what I'm thinking, I know what my goals are, and these are the things that are going to get in my way. Maybe they're distractions, maybe they're actual logistical issues, maybe they're aspects in the project, a hurdle, a challenge, a negotiation, anything like that might show up that's going to cause you to struggle with achieving the thing that you want to achieve. The last part of this is emotional state. And we are asking, what are you feeling? And you want to capture these out. Am I feeling ambition? Am I feeling hope? Am I feeling worry? Am I feeling anxiety? Am I feeling frustrated? Am I angry? Like whatever it happens to be. And you need to take charge of those emotions, and you need to understand which emotions are bubbling up. And so your ability to kind of go through this and then say, you know what, I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling hopeful, but I'm currently frustrated, or I'm currently angry that contract isn't working out the way that I want it to work out. And so that's going to drive you to the right action. Now, your emotions are going to fundamentally impact what you think, and what you think are going to impact your emotions. That's just how it works. I might be feeling a certain way. My thought creates an emotional response, and I'm thinking those things. I may also be feeling a certain way, and then I'm thinking about things I don't want to think about, because those emotions are getting in the way. Maybe I would put that under difficulties as well, that my current emotional state's not allowing me to see with clarity. And then at other points in time, they might work the other way around. So what am I thinking, and what's that leading to my emotional state? So these two things have a really clear relationship with each other. And which one do you have more control over? Which one do you feel you have more agency in place of is important? If you're unclear about your goals, then it's very hard to figure out what challenges you're going to face. Like, you see people all the time, they're like, oh, yeah, all these things are hard. Well, are they hard because they're not letting you achieve your goals, or are they hard because you're just paying attention to them? Now, if you're in a negative emotion state, you're going to become very hyper aware of the difficulties. So this is something that turns into what we call a negativity bias. And the more negative you feel, the more challenges you experience, the more challenges you experience, the more negative you feel, and it turns into this spiral that can kind of run out of control. So we need to be able to engage our thought pattern so that we can think about our challenges and have some positive emotions around what those difficulties are going to be. Finally, we can kind of go in this way as well from emotions, and we can say, do these objectives make me feel good? Are they things that matter? Do I have purpose? Am I really feeling like these objectives are going to drive me to a better emotional state? And then is my current emotional state going to help me achieve my objectives? So maybe I'm feeling angry because I didn't achieve something. Great. Use that anger, push it towards getting your objectives. At the same time, maybe I'm feeling really good about my objectives. Let that drive positive emotional state of excitement and joy and hope and all the other beneficial parts of this. This whole process is allowing you to think your way to your objectives as well. So now we have a very interconnected approach towards what we're talking about. And fundamentally, you have now coded your day. You've set yourself up, you've created clarity, you've created a way of sort of navigating either short-term or long-term, across the next few hours, the whole day, the next week, maybe the next month. And if you really want to get big with this, you can start going into quarterly and biannual type of thinking. At that point, you want to sort of get your team involved and work on that level as well. But if you go through this process, beginning of the week, when you're looking at reframing a new objective, when you're looking at taking on a new project or, an expansion in your business, like whatever happens to be, maybe you've got an adventure coming up. Go through this code sequence. What am I thinking? That's my cognitive function. What are my objectives? What are the difficulties that I'm going to experience in this whole process? And what's my emotional state? So this code framework, absolute game changer when it comes to effective leadership, accomplishing goals, and putting yourself in the right mindset to give yourself fundamentally what we're always looking for, which is a high level of agency.